Here are 5 tips for new gardeners. Number 1, start small. The thought of gardening brings to mind harvesting a basket full of garden goodies. However, there's a lot to learn when it comes to gardening. You might get excited and want to plant a bunch of stuff all at once, but you may end up losing your plants, wasting time and money, and possibly losing interest in gardening. So start small. Maybe begin with a pot of herbs, try strawberries in a container, or a tomato plant in a whiskey barrel. If you have raised beds, start with only one bed with only a few, maybe 3 or 4 types of plants. Once you begin to learn more about each plant, including its growing habits, size, nutritional requirements, and common pests or diseases, you can then expand and add more plants. Tip number 2, grow things that you will actually eat or use. This may sound silly, but sometimes we want to experiment and grow things that look cool or pretty. If you end up not consuming or using it, it'll be a waste of space, time, and water. My own personal example of this is eggplant. Before gardening, I rarely ate eggplants, and when I did, it was something that I ordered occasionally at a restaurant. I never cooked it at home. I tried growing eggplants and had a lot of beautiful, glossy fruit, but I found I never did anything with them other than give them away or just admire their beauty. I realized it was cool to grow something new, but it took up space where another plant could have grown that would have produced something that I would benefit from. If you don't eat it now, you probably won't eat it even if you grow it. Tip number 3, start off with seedlings and not seeds. Although there is no such thing as instant gratification when it comes to gardening, starting with seedlings or saplings for fruit trees is the way to go for beginners. What you see at the garden center as seedlings takes upwards of 6 to 12 weeks to get to that size. It varies greatly by the type and variety of the plant as well. Sometimes the fruit is already set, or it is flowering and beginning to produce fruit or edible parts. Nothing is more exciting for a gardener than getting to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Although seeds are fun and cheaper, it is time-consuming and many seeds do not make it to the producing stage. If you are looking to start a home orchard, you should buy grafted trees so that they begin producing within 1 to 2 years. Fruit trees come in all shapes and sizes. The large, mature trees will cost more than a small young tree. However, the larger the tree, the sooner it is ready to produce a lot of fruit. Tip number 4, water, water, and more water. What I have learned is that I am more likely to kill my plants by underwatering as opposed to overwatering. Plants need water to produce and grow bigger, better fruit, vegetables, and flowers. When a plant does not get enough water, it will greatly diminish its yield and be more susceptible to disease and pests. Be sure that your plants are getting enough water, especially during the hot summer months when the sun can quickly dry out the soil and stress out the plants. How regularly you water is dependent on many factors. If you are unsure, it is better to water and keep the soil moist. Water the soil, not the leaves of the plant. Tip number 5, be patient. As I mentioned in tip number 3, there is no such thing as instant gratification when it comes to gardening. There is a lot of waiting for things to happen, waiting for seeds to sprout, waiting for leaves to emerge, and waiting for things to bloom or ripen. And with any new hobby or interest, we want to do everything and try everything. Hence my first tip of start small. Patience isn't just with waiting for things to grow. Patience is also about taking the time to learn and research different gardening topics so that you can broaden your knowledge and skills in the garden. I hope these 5 tips get you heading in the right direction in the garden. Good luck.